So how many of you would like to know the secret and the truth to building a speaking business? Raise your hands. And how many of you here right now are paid speakers? Raise your hand. Great, a few of you. And how many of you will not put your hands up whatever I do? Thank you. Excellent. So a couple of you. So my name is Elliot Kay, and what a great introduction from the German. I think she did very good, yeah? So good? Yeah, let's give her a round of applause. So good. It wasn't a couple of years ago I was an actor. It's actually about 5 years ago now. But it's true. 5 years ago, I was broke. I was down. I was out. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was thinking, do I go back to work, or do I actually pursue my path and actually carry on building my business at the time, which is now metamorphosized into 3 businesses. Not on purpose. I hardly set out to run 3 businesses. But what I actually do in my mind is I run 1 business with 3 different offerings. That's how I can do it, and it's replicatable. In fairness, Anik does all the work for Pony Express. I just help her make decisions. She comes to me, goes, yes, no. I most of the time go, no. Eventually I say yes, but she does all the, the foundations, the networking, the building, and that's my role. So the reason I'm involved in 3 businesses is because Anik does all the work. So that's a good teamwork, right? So what's a little bit of our ethos? We all have our journey. We all want to get from A to B, whatever that is for us. And what is really important is, who would agree that personal development on this journey is important? Raise your hands. Absolutely. And who would agree that at some point you've had all the personal development you could have and you need to start thinking strategically and how to implement that? Who would agree? Raise your hands. Excellent. Turn to the person next to you, go, I agree. I agree. Excellent. And how many of you would say it's important to be consistent? Yes or no? Yes. So that's our ethos. We look at it, we use the 5 C's. We look at collaboration, community, connection, and which one did I miss? Continuous growth. And that's what we aim to do. We aim to take people on a path from A to B. So I did this last year, this very same talk, but we did Q&As, and people just asked questions, and I answered according to my truth, how I see things. I can only give you my point of view. Is that okay, yes or no? Now, some of you will agree, some of you will disagree, and that's perfectly okay. But what I thought this time, I'll give some key points, and then we'll ask questions if there's time left. Is that okay? Yeah. Excellent. So, the first thing as a speaker is this. Now, here's something I want to get out there. Raise your hands if you're a speaker. Okay, let me tell you this. That a lot of you are not speakers. A lot of you use speaking to grow your business. Who will agree? Yeah? How many of you here get paid to show up, speak, and go home? 1 of you. You see? That's 2 of you. Great. There's 2 of you here that are speakers. You show up, you go, hi, my name is, I'm going to speak about this. You speak, you speak, you speak. And then everyone goes, woo! Right? And then you go home. Isn't that right, Harriet? Excellent. You see? Now that's a speaker, but a lot of us use speaking to grow our business. I'm not actually a speaker. I'm a trainer, facilitator, mentor. I'm not a coach anymore, but thanks for that, Anik. And I use speaking to grow my business. And I've used speaking to grow the businesses both to 6K plus. Sorry, 6K, 6 figures plus, not 6K. That would be nice. Preempting there. And also to the new businesses already halfway there. And I use speaking because what are some of the advantages of speaking? Let's have some shout-outs. Position of authority. What else? Sorry? Publicity.
Project your ideas.
Project your ideas.
Broadcasting a message.
Broadcasting a message. Who would agree? Yes?
Impact.
Impact? You're addressing a lot of people at one time. Absolutely. So who would agree these days we're all broadcasters? Yeah. We're all broadcasters. Do you agree? Yeah. Yes or no? Yes. Yes, we are all broadcasters because these days you can jump on Hi Periscope, being Periscoped to there. Hi people on Periscope, right? You can be on Periscope. You can be on Twitter, on YouTube. There's so many channels these days to be out there as broadcasters. But here's the key thing. If you don't know what you stand for as a speaker, then you're just going to blend into a lot of the fluff out there. How many times do you meet someone and go, well, I'm a speaker and I speak about confidence? How many people know people that speak about confidence? But what does that mean? What are you as a speaker? Oh, I'm an inspirational speaker. Great. What do you inspire about? Oh, I just help people have better lives. Good. That's an outcome. But what you stand for as a speaker, as a facilitator, or someone that uses speaking will be key. I heard this recently actually at an event, and I thought it's a brilliant, brilliant metaphor. It's a food event, actually, that we went to. And someone said, to get on the shelf, you need to fit in and stand out. I thought that's brilliant, because as a speaker, you need to be able to fit in and stand out, have a core message, and understand what you stand for. So Harriet, what do you stand for as a speaker?
Possibility for transformation.
Great, but within the health or generally?
Total life, but health.
Yeah, and Harriet, for example, has really taken that message, honed it in, and has watched growth, right? Gabby, what do you stand for when you speak?
Being yourself.
Being yourself. Right, so if someone came and went, I want to talk about being myself, I get what she's talking about, yes? However she delivers that, it's great. But so many times I get people coming to Pony, they're like, hey, I want to be a speaker. What do you want to speak about? I just want to help people. I just want to serve, which is great intention. But then how do you know when or what we put you in, what category, what kind of speaking do you want to do? How many coaches do I have in the room? Raise your hands. How many people in the wellness space? Raise your hands. Yeah. How many hypnotherapists? Can keep going. How many ninjas? A few of you. Hey, any Jedis? Any Jedis in the house? Huh? One pony slayer? Is that what you said? You said what?
You asked about Jedi, so I said Prince Leia, so I can...
Oh, you're Prince Slayer?
Princess, sorry.
We have a prince in the house. I say no more. So do you think it's important to understand what you stand for when you use speaking, yes or no? Yes. Absolutely. The next part is this. I get this all the time. Oh, I already speak. Good. Now, how many times experienced speakers, you've gone to see them, and they're pretty boring? Anyone heard that? And then they're like, well, I don't need training. I don't need to do all this stuff because I already speak. Does anyone know someone like that? Yeah? Or I already know this stuff. And here's the thing. Just because you speak doesn't necessarily mean that, I'm not saying you, because obviously people in this room are brilliant, but a lot of people out there, it doesn't mean you're a good speaker. Because here's what happens to a lot of people when they start speaking. It's true. You start to get some gigs, and maybe you invest a little bit in your training, but then a lot of speakers just flatline because they are getting gigs, and they are getting some money, and then they stop investing in themselves, and they stop growing. And then what happens is they become complacent and often pretty, at times, boring or predictable, or the whole thing, ethos, is based around talking about themselves. How many of you know speakers you've gone to see and they spend the whole time talking about themselves? Ever been to that? How much value did you get? Wow, that's a great story. But is it about you as the speaker or about them? Is it about the audience? Yes? Sure, you're the vehicle, you're the tool, but a lot of people don't invest enough in their speaking. And that's worrying because there's a lot of speakers out there who claim they're speakers. And actually all they're doing is substandard delivery. Now remember, when you're speaking, it's not, or when you're on stage, it's not just my time. It's your time, your time, your time, your time. So it's all this room times the 30 minutes that I'm on stage. Is it important to add massive value, yes or no? Yes. And that's the key part, is adding value. But a lot of people go, I'm already a speaker, I already do this, I know this stuff. Yeah? And they just come across as stale. Not everyone. Not everyone. Now, those who stand out, what is it they do? Practice. What else do they do? Train, practice.
Address the audience.
Address the audience. What else? Make a difference. What else? Entertain, yes. Is there a part of being a speaker that's a little bit of being an entertainer, yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. What else? Catalyze. Yes, absolutely. But here's the other thing that I want to talk about, is the versatility as speakers. Most speakers, of course not this room, or not the people on Periscope, yes, speak in executive. It's like, this is how it's done, this is how you do it, this is the way to be confident, this is the way to be happy, here are my steps, 1, 2, 3, and they're executive mode. Yeah, who can relate to that? You go to talks and they're executive. It's an imparting of information in one direction. Yeah? Here's my 5 steps for you to be really confident. 1, be confident. 2, stand up and say, I am confident. 3, believe you're confident. Yeah? 4, go, I am confident. Yeah? And it's just one direction. But the people that stand out, the people that really truly impact people's lives, the people that can build a business around or using speaking, are the people that are versatile. Yeah? And their ability to move between the different speaker archetypes as speakers. Because that's what makes them mesmerizing. That's what draws people in, the ability to change energies, to really hold the space. So you've got your kind of executives that are just like, and there's room for executive speaking. Like, you know, when you're conveying very factual information. But then, of course, there's the kind of rock star speakers that are like, wow! And they're like, come on, let's do this! Who knows someone like that? Yeah? Me. Hey. What can I say? And then, of course, there's the motivators, there's the types of person that you give them a high five and say, you have the power to succeed. Do you know someone like that? Yeah? Oh, come on, you can do this, you can do this. You know, come on, I believe in you. Yes! Anyone know that? Yeah? And then, of course, there's the caregivers. The people that stand on stage and can tell stories that can really bring an audience to tears or to joy. And then there's the channelers. I'm picking something up here. So tell me, what's bothering you right now? And it's the ability, there's more by the way, but the ability to move between those is what really makes, and the truth be known from the people that can weave in between that are the people that make the most impact, that can really build a business around that versus being one-dimensional with the speaking. There's also the preacher, and that's used a lot. Who knows a preacher-type speaker? Who's that? He can go into preacher, but he's not known as a preacher, yes? I don't know him. His name's popping up everywhere. I don't know him as a speaker, but he could be. Who? Again, I don't know him. Okay. Anyone know Les Brown? Les Brown, massive preacher. Bob Proctor, always up here. This is what it takes to change your life. You can live your dreams. Know that? Yeah, so it's the ability to weave that in and out is one of the key ways of building a speaking business. Yes or no? Yes. Yeah? The other thing is this. A lot of people have one plan to build a business. One plan, one way of doing things, and guess what happens? They give up. Oh, okay, I'm gonna talk, and I'm gonna do my first talk, and you're all gonna give me a standing ovation. Oh man, you did it. Oh God, I suck. I can't. I'm not a speaker. I'm clearly not good at this. And also a plan of how to get there, which is why we talk a lot about strategy. But having more than one plan, it took us 3 years, Anik, to get the structure of Pony Express fluid, continuous. When we first started, we would finish at 10:30. People would walk out pale and with pillows. They're like, "Thanks, guys." And we're like, okay, this isn't, and we kept going back again and again, yeah, we kept going because we had to refine it so it's smooth, it flows. But that's the same with your journey. So if someone goes, can I speak for you? No. Oh, it's tough, this speaking business. Right? Well, how do you get this? How do you get your speaking gigs? You start with 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you jump into an hour. It all depends how courageous you are. But it's about having more than one plan, more than one angle, more than one way of doing it. So I can speak either about strategically how to grow your business as a speaker, as a trainer, facilitator, or I can speak about confidence and personal development. I can talk about overcoming adversity. So yes, it's in the same area, but I can offer different angles. So I get called in to do different talks. Is this making sense? Yes or no? Yes, yes or no? Yes. Excellent. So have more than one plan. The other thing is this. How many of you don't like selling? Raise your hands. Be honest. Come on. How many of you love selling? Awesome. Clear shift in dynamics. Here's the thing. As a speaker, You are always selling. Always. The moment you come on stage, you're selling. What are you selling? Yourself. I hate sales. I can't stand sales. I don't want to come across pushy. I don't want to sell. I just want to speak. But you're still selling yourself. You're still promoting you. Are you a brand, yes or no? Yes. Do you have a message, yes or no? Yes. Do you want people to listen to it? Yes. Then you need to sell. But sell yourself. It doesn't necessarily mean the whole, go to the back of the room, sign up today, or you'll never be successful. That's one way of selling. Anyone experience that? Successful people do what it takes. And what it takes is coming right here. And what it takes is right now. Who's with me? You didn't get up, you'll never succeed. You didn't get up. Anyone had that? Yes. Yeah, unfortunately. But that's not what I'm talking about. There is that element of selling, of promotion, yes, of course. But there's the element of promoting yourself, selling yourself. So if you've got anything around sales, get over it. Because you're always selling yourself in one way or another. You go for an interview, are you selling yourself? When you walk into a room and you're networking, you're selling yourself? When you're getting on stage, are you selling yourself? So change that. If you've got a problem around sales, let that go. Next part before we go to the Q&A part. How am I doing for time? 50. Awesome. Okay, let's keep going. 1-5. Good. Here's how I like to teach this. Fee, free, or flee. You might want to write that down. Fee, free, or flee. And I don't mean the fleas in our heads. It means flee, get out the door. So what do I mean by that? Where are my speakers? Raise your hands. Where are my aspiring speakers? People want to. So when someone turns to me and asks, Elliot, would you do a speaking gig? Can you talk about this? I think in the 3 Fs, right? And one of them, okay, do I charge a fee? Now, normally when you're charging a fee, right, you don't sell. You don't sell a product. You maybe sell a book. But generally, it's not a big, come to my course, come to my weekend. You know, it's nothing really promotional. It's really just about showing up, like Harriet, hi, do my talk, and go. There's a fee. The normal understanding is no promotion, right? Unless you have a book or something tiny. Again, everything's negotiable, but that's generally the understanding. If someone comes and says, look, will you come and speak on my stage, but I can't pay you, and it's free, that's when you get to promote, right? So if you're doing a free talk on any description, you get to do a promotional angle, because is your time valuable? Yes. It is. Should you be rewarded for the value you give to people, yes or no? Yes. Absolutely. So there's the free, however you can sell. Again, look, if it's a charity thing, like, and it's something close to your heart, I was so used to banging my heart there, but I realized there was a microphone and I was going to go boom. But no. Then that's one thing, that's a choice. But understand, is it a fee? Is it free? Can I promote? And then if they won't pay you, right, and they won't let you promote, you flee, right? You don't take it. Now, to gain experience, to grow yourselves, the speakers, to keep going, you can, but again, it's how do you want to show up? How do you want to set yourself up as a speaker? Again, that whole selling ourselves, that whole, you know, oh, well, I'm just up and coming, I don't have a lot of experience, then charge accordingly. But don't do this whole kind of feel bad for charging thing. You know, I was working, I'm a supervisor for a trainer coach, and we meet monthly and he talks about everything, and we're having a discussion about charging. And the thing is, a plumber, yes, a plumber wouldn't do the work and go, okay, how much do you want to pay me? What do you think is fair? You know, okay, £10? Yeah, okay, 20? No, a plumber goes, look, I've been on my knees, cleaning your out. It's 70, 80 quid, right? So some of us are plumbers to the soul. Right? And you should charge. Now charge something. Get used to the mindset of being commercial. When I do my strategy weekend, we do a whole section about being commercial, about what you do. Part of what we've worked on very a lot, good English, with Anik, is commercializing Pony Express. Because when it started in a little smelly basement in Kentish Town, And there was no real, at the time I didn't know what it was. I've been involved from day one. Didn't really know what it was. As it grew, it gained momentum and started to grow. And then we're like, right, how do we commercialize this? But if you're the brand and you're the speaker and you want to grow it into a business, think commercially from the word go. When we work with the members, I'm always harping on about them. What's your time worth? Think commercially. Yes, if it's a free speaking gig, have an upsell. Sell them into something. £10, £5, £20, £100. Yeah, but have a commercial angle to build, because after all, if you want a business from it, if you want money, cash flow from it, it doesn't have to be elaborate, massive amounts. That's okay too, by the way. You've got to think commercially. But if you've forever got this conflict of not charging, or I can't charge, and justifying the very reason you exist, then you'll join a lot of speakers. They're like, well, I kind of just do it, or I'm broke, or my business isn't going anywhere. Now, again, a lot of you are using speaking to build the business. You're not speakers. There's two of you in the room. There's speakers. The rest of us are using speaking. So there's always an angle. There's always somewhere to take them, and that's part of your responsibility. I'm just going to tell his story, and then I'll open to Q&A because I don't have a lot of time. And he's in my book now. I've spoken about him because he's such a great example of someone that was focused and dedicated. So Alex came to me not long ago, about 5 months ago. He came to me with no speaking experience, nervous, doesn't even stand up at all in meetings. He couldn't speak out. He had an app idea. We asked him, okay, what is this app? What does it stand for? So it stands for financial education. His idea then got chosen out of over 1,000 ideas, got down to 20. He then had to pitch in front of lions, which is a dragon's version of lions, if you know what I mean. He got through the first round. We then carried on working. He stayed focused. He really worked on himself. He got his numbers. He got commercial. He understood the value of standing and being focused. He got through that round. He then had to go and pitch in Holland in front of 500 people. And then he was awarded €1 million. And that's the whole journey was 3 months. Is that good? Yes or no? He did that because of the hard work, the practice. He would practice 50 times a day, his pitch. He would practice. He would ask questions. He wasn't willing to be comfortable. And the guy runs marathons. And he said, doing this was far harder than running a marathon. So it's all about what you want to create and the opportunities you want to create as or how you use speaking. But whatever you do, just understand your value, why you're on stage, know what you stand for, and have a clear direction where you want to take your audience. And for that, I would like to open to Q&A. How long have I got? 7 minutes. So I even have a slide for Q&A. So any questions? Yes?
Do you have an app for public speaking? Good speaking?
Do we have an app for public speaking? Yes. No. But
Why not?
that's a great question. I need Alex. But what we can do, I know Anik's got a massive recommended reading for public speaking, so we could share that in the Pony Express Facebook group. Certainly do that. I know when I work with people one-on-one, they're always asking me, and I'm like, Anik, what should I, because I don't read. I'm dyslexic, and it's just reading's hard work, and so I just listen to audiobooks. And I do, and I train. But would that help if we shared the list, the recommended reading? Yeah, so Pony Express Speakers Club, and we'll put that in Facebook. So maybe we should have an app, but let us raise the funding for that first. Yes, yes, you can. Yes, Gabby.
So the question was around the way you did the fees, and you were saying to charge accordingly to your experience. I know it's context dependent depending on where you are, but could you give us some guidelines as to, do you have a retainer? Do you get money back? Like, is there a contract? Like, how does it work?
First of all, have a contract. Always have, even if it's an agreement over email, agree on something. Word of mouth or trust is good, but get it in black and white. So if you're speaking regularly, then it'll be a retainer. What I tend to do, and I haven't been paid for a while in the sense of showing up as a speaker, but when I have done that, I take a deposit just to make sure they're committed.
And is that a percentage?
Yeah, so I normally take 20% deposit.
Yeah, because I would do the email thing, and I've got some sort of contract, but I don't know if there's like a formal, because if they look at it and they're like, right, well, you obviously don't know what you're doing because you've just made that up, or if you've got a formal template from somewhere.
I have a top line and bottom line.
Okay.
So I'll go like, look, a day of my time when I'm training is £1,000. Yeah. Look, if you want me to come and speak, it's got to be around that measure. And then if you want an hour, I work out. So an hour normally when I do a session is £500. So the lowest I'll go is £350 for a talk. £150 deposit, the rest paid on delivery. And then you put all the cancellation. That's how I would work it. So work out your day rate and then break it down. That's how I think about it. Does that help?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Great. Yes. Yes.
How
Max.
do you progress from when you're starting up and you're charging low to raising your prices? I mean, it's also a confidence sort of thing of saying, no, I mean, I lost contract, wasn't speaking, but it's similar. I lost contracts because I wasn't going to budge because I didn't want to undervalue the quality I deliver.
Of course. So I normally, when I do that, I normally communicate. So it's this price till this point, and then we'll renegotiate or discuss it going up. That's the clause I would put in. So a lot of my clients that come and start work with me were like, it's £3,000 for this. Once that's finished, we can discuss going up. If it's a speaking arrangement or training arrangement, we would put in the proposal, it's £1,400, but we'll reduce it to £1,000 if you're a first client. But then after that, we will negotiate the fee. And then it's a choice. Do you want to do it for £1,000 or do you want to do it for more? That's what I would do for that. Again, it's about rapport. How can I add value? What can we do differently? Some people just don't want to pay. And then, you know, those who haggle so much are normally pain in the ass clients, in my experience. Does that answer your question? I don't have a set format,
Yeah.
but what I
It's
would...
also not just with one client, but moving from one client to the next client and when to sort of like pick up the courage. I'm not going to charge them £500, I'm going to charge them £800.
Mhm.
And that's going to be my baseline.
And that's a lot about your confidence, your certainty, how much you believe, and how much you're sick of delivering hours and feeling you're shortchanged for the hours you deliver. That's always a signpost for me when I'm going, I'm doing all these hours, and I'm not getting paid what I earn. Okay, it's time to up the prices. And when you find your time poor, that's the other time you know you need to up the prices. Someone came to me 2 days ago. She's like, I have 8 coffees a week, I closed 2 of them, and I'm still broke. And she's a health coach. I was like, why are you still broke? That's really good percentages. You're closing 25% of people that are working with you. And then I started to ask about the pricing. And she's like, well, actually, they don't take my packages, they take 1 or 2 sessions. Okay, so either you really bump up your session price or you only sell packages. But she's positioned herself that way, so what she does, she keeps going back to the same people, and it's like £50 an hour. I'm like, now you need to communicate that it's no longer £50 an hour. You'll have a period that it is, and then after it goes up. So confidence, certainty, and how fed up you are of doing all these hours and not getting paid. That's what I would say. Yeah, does that help now? Any other questions? Yes. Oh, let's go.
Okay.
So is he. Go on.
Is it not better to negotiate through an agent rather than yourself?
Here's the thing about an agent. Look, if you can negotiate and keep your 20%, I would suggest you do that. If you don't mind and you've got the time or you don't have the time, look, agents will they can easily Google you and just go, hey, I've got a gig for you. In my experience, unless you're like the Bransons and the Sugars and the Karen Bradys, they don't really add value. They don't get you gigs. They'll just negotiate and take a cut for it. So I would say do it yourself.
Let me just give an example.
I've got 1 more minute. Yes.
If you're trying to sell a house,
Yes.
do it yourself, you won't have the market. The agents have a bigger market for you.
Yes.
So they almost always achieve a better price for you.
Correct.
So doesn't that apply in speaking?
I would say, look, again, it depends on the level, right? I would say for a lot of people at this point, forget agents. There's no need. When you're kind of a certain level, by all means. When they're getting you Wembley and things like that, and you're doing that, get an agent. No, I think when you hit a certain level, or get someone to deal with it for you. But at this point, I don't think a lot of people, and plus they'll just take 20% for what you would do anyway. They only go, they've offered this, and you'll go, I don't like that, and they'll go back and go, well, they don't like that, how about this? And you'll go, okay, I'll take that, which you could have done anyway. Who would agree, yeah? Has anyone dealt with agents? That's what they do. Okay, thank you, 20%. I'd rather keep it. Does that answer your question? Okay, am I at time? 15 seconds, very quick question. Yes, Gabby.
Etiquette, when you're sharing stage with somebody, is it okay to ask, obviously who the speakers are, but are you allowed to ask talk? Because you may not want to be associated with certain people's delivery, and that's probably a bigger question than 15 seconds.
Okay, in short, know who you're sharing the stage with up front. Look, some speakers will be very open, especially if they consider you non-conflicting. If there's a conflict, normally you wouldn't be put on the same stage as them. So they'll take people from different areas. Look, it's all about rapport. How you talk to them, if you're like, look, can I just check what you're speaking about? If he's speaking about how to buy weapons and you don't want to be associated with that, say, okay, thank you for that. And you just don't mention them in your talk. The important thing is, and I'll answer that really quickly, is how you show up, being the best speaker you can be and adding massive value to the audience when they're listening to you. And then that's what you focus on. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm out of time. That was me. Thank you.